Okay, so I know you have a lot of time in your hands. You've probably been combing the internet for anything and everything you can get your hands on. In this video, we're going to show you how to get yourself $10,000 in as little as 3 days, as long as you fit these requirements. Remember guys, just a side note, I am not a CPA and I'm not an attorney. If you're looking for tax advice or legal advice, you gotta look for that somewhere else. I'm just showing you what I'm doing and hopefully it can help you too. Are you a real estate agent, independent contractor, or a small business? Have you 1099 someone in the last year? Did you form an LLC before February 15, 2020? Well then this video is for you. We're gonna show you exactly how to get yourself an SBA loan. I know what you're thinking, SBA loans are complicated and really hard to get, and usually they turn everybody down. Or you may have to sometimes pledge your house as collateral. Well, not now. Because of the new stimulus bill that they just passed, you're able to now collect from the Small Business Administration with a streamlined process. You can actually get an advance in as little as 3 days, even if you get turned down. I'm not making this up. It's crazy. You got to read it for yourself. So let me show you how to get yourself on that waiting list. First of all, do you have any employees? Do you have anyone that you've 1099? Or have you 1099 anyone this year? Well, if you have, then this is what you have to do. The government has set aside $10 billion. Now remember, they're giving out $10,000 a clip and as much as $10 million if the companies qualify. And these loans are forgivable, which means that after the time is up and the term is done, they're gonna audit you and ask you what you use the money on. If you can prove that you used the money on business expenses, then that loan goes away. I'm serious, I can't make this up. So all you have to do is follow these instructions that I'm gonna give you. Now pay attention. First, you have to make sure that the expenses you're gonna use it on are approved. I'm gonna leave a link to that approval list down below in the comments. And next, remember, there's only gonna be about 100,000 of these loans that are gonna be able to be given out during this stimulus bill. So make sure that you get to it right away. As soon as you're done with this video, make sure you apply. I'm gonna show you in a few steps how to get that done. There's 2 ways to go about getting this loan. First, you have to go over to the SBA's website. So follow me as I show you how to do just that. Okay, so let's get started. You're gonna see disaster loan assistance at the very top. You're gonna scroll down and it's gonna ask you how you're applying. Most of us are gonna apply either as a business with less than 500 employees or we're gonna be a sole proprietor, either one of these 2 options. I'll just pick the first one just to give you an example. Then it's gonna ask you to review the following and you have to read these thoroughly and make sure that you are answering these correctly. For most of us, we're gonna have to check off every one of these boxes and then hit continue. Then we're gonna have our legal business name. Let's go ahead and fill out the information here. You may have to put in the designation such as LLC. You're gonna wanna put in a company EIN number. I'm just gonna make one up just for this example. Organization type, you're either a limited liability, sole proprietor, C Corp, S Corp. You pick the one that is appropriate for you. Is the applicant a nonprofit organization? It's either yes or no. Is the applicant a franchise? That's either yes or no. This is asking you how much revenue you had in the last 12 months prior to January 31st, 2020. So we're just gonna put $1 million here just to give you an example. It's gonna cost you for the cost of goods from that same time period. We'll go ahead and put in 100,000. It's also gonna ask you if you've lost any rent due to this disaster. If you are an investor or if you hold property that you're renting out along with this business, you can go ahead and put that information in there. If you're a nonprofit, you would fill in this portion. If you're a secular social service provider, then you would fill out this section. If you're a faith-based entity, you'd fill out this section. Here it's asking you if you've received any funding from any other source for disaster relief. And then here it's also asking you to give you a little more information about that relief that you've received. Here under primary business address, you're gonna go ahead and put in the business address of your company. Sometimes this might have to go in manually. You don't have to fill out alternative business phone or business fax. It's gonna ask you for the date established. Go ahead and put down whenever you establish your company. If you bought that company at a later date, then you're gonna have to put when you bought that. If not, you put in the same date as what you put above. What kind of business activity do you do? In our example, it's real estate. We go here to where it says real estate property management, and then number of employees. If you're the only employee, you go ahead and put 1. If you have multiple employees, you can put the number of employees you have, whatever that number may be. Here you're going to certify if the business is owned as a business entity. And then you put yes or no. I'm going to put yes just for this example. We're going to go ahead and put the same information as before. Business type, ownership percentage. If you're the only owner, you put 100. If you're 50-50 with a partner, you would put 50-50. Very simple, guys. Place of birth, are you a citizen? And then your residential street address. Once you're done, you're going to click next. You're going to answer these questions here. If you've ever been committed of a crime, so on and so forth, just answer these questions. And then it's going to ask you if someone else filled this information out for you. Now, don't put down my information, just put down no if you're doing it yourself, or if you're doing it for someone else, you'd want to put yes. If you would like to be considered for an advance up to $10,000, which is going to be forgivable, you click here. Then you put your bank name, your account number, and your routing number. And that's it. All you have to do is then scroll down and hit next, and you'll get a confirmation number for your application. And you should have the money within 3 days. Now, I'm doing this video on the same day that I found out about this, so I cannot tell you whether or not I've received the money, but it states everywhere that you read that within 3 days, whether you qualify or you get denied, they will still give you the $10,000 without any strings attached. Forgivable. If you get more than $10,000, let's say you apply for $1 million, everything that's different from the $10,000 to the $1 million, later you will have to be audited for that at a much later time, maybe 10 years from now, and show that you were actually using that money to grow your business. You were using it for things such as payroll or health insurance or rent or expenses associated with the business. As long as you can prove that, all of the money will be then forgivable. So I think that this is a great idea that the government put in place, because businesses can now not only get back to business, but they can also start investing in things that they weren't able to invest in before, which should definitely spur the economy. If you guys have any questions on how to actually do this, if you're having any problems, leave it down in the description below. Now, I'm going to also show you a separate way that you can apply. I highly recommend that you apply both ways. We applied both ways because you just don't know. The information is so new that we don't know if there's only one application or if there's two, or if you should do both. So now I'm going to show you the second way to apply for this grant. Okay, so if we're going to apply for a home loan or a sole proprietor loan, we're going to go to this website. I've left the link in the description below. All you have to do is go down here and follow these simple instructions. It's going to tell you how to apply. First things first, you would get the business loan application. You click that and then it'll take you. Very simple. All you have to do is scroll down and fill out anything that applies to you. If something does not apply, just put not applicable or leave it blank. After you've filled it all out, it's very short, just 2 pages. Just go ahead and print it out, sign it. On this page, the third page, it's going to give you the requirements in order for you to be able to provide these documents along with the form you just filled out. Besides the form that you just filled out, we just spoke about, you're going to need the 4506T, which is basically a request for your transcripts from the IRS. They want to ensure that the taxes you're giving them are the same taxes you filed with the IRS. Next, you're going to need a copy of your most recent income taxes, all schedules, and you're going to want to have those ready to upload into their server. You're also going to need a personal financial statement, which I'm going to show you exactly where to get that. You're going to want to fill that out. And lastly, they're going to want you to fill out a schedule of all the liabilities you have. All these documents that they're requesting of you, I'm going to show you exactly where to get that just now. So in this section here where it says additional forms is where you'll find all the additional documents you're going to need, such as the 4506T, which you can see here, so on and so forth. You'll find everything you will ever need for the application right in this section. But we're not done just yet. We're going to have to go to this document and fill it out as well. This application is almost the same as the first one you filled out. Just go through it and fill it out with the same information you had on the last one. You're also going to have to sign this one and get it ready for upload as well. The last document you're going to need is this one right here, number 3. You click on it and then it takes you to this section. what you're going to fill out is your income for the last 12 months prior to the disaster, the cost of goods that you've sold within the last 12 months prior to the disaster, and if you had any rental income lost, you would put that here. If you had any compensation from any other sources, you would itemize that in this section, and then you simply just sign it and date it and get it ready for upload. So I keep telling you, you have to upload these documents, but where do you upload them? Very, very simple. All you have to do is get them all together into one PDF and put them right in here. And once you've uploaded them, you're gonna be ready to go. You'll be contacted by someone from the SBA within a matter of days. So sit back and just wait for someone to contact you. And also check your bank account, because you may get the money in your account without you even knowing it. Now, I know what you're saying. My business has only been open for 1 year, or my business hardly had any income last year. But we don't know the extent of this grant. We don't know who qualifies and who doesn't qualify just yet. But I'll tell you one thing, 10 minutes of your time, especially now when you're sitting home and you have so much things that you could be doing, this is one of the best things that anyone could do. Whether you have no employees or you have 100 employees, doesn't matter. Just go in there, and then once you're assigned someone to help you with it, then you can make tweaks to your application. Perhaps maybe you can increase your loan to $20,000, $50,000, or even $1 million, depending on the size of your business. The only thing I can tell you is that you're definitely not going to get it if you don't apply. And now let's dig a little deeper. I know getting free money from the IRS or from the SBA is definitely not an ideal thing for a business owner. But let's face it, right now businesses are shut down, and 80% of the employers in America are small businesses. So if we don't band together and keep things going, there's going to be a lot of unemployment. I'm personally excited that we have some time back on our plate and we're actually having time to refine ourselves and get things a little bit better. But I am worried that payroll comes around and rent comes around and our personal obligations come around and we don't have enough money. So I'm doing this video, guys, because I really care about America and I really care about small businesses, because that's all I've ever known. Ever since I was a kid, I've always worked for myself. And I truly, truly, truly respect people who do go out there and take a risk and take on all the stress and the burdens of being an independent contractor or being a business owner. So take this time, guys, go out there and try to get this money. I'm also going to be doing a video very soon on how you can apply for unemployment benefits up to almost $24,000 if you're a real estate agent. This is the first time we've ever heard of such a thing. So if you're interested in learning more about that, just click this link right here and then you can go and see that video. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you want to learn more about my channel and what we do here at Culture Estate, click the subscribe button now. Share this video with anyone who you think would benefit from it. I know you know a lot of self-employed people if you're an entrepreneur yourself. And don't forget, guys, hit the notification bell so you can be alerted whenever we drop any new content just like this. Thank you, guys, and God bless.